Carolyn Dube here. Today I am playing with Sue Pelletier's Loose Dress #1 from Stencil Girl Products. I'm taking plain old acrylic paint and putting it right onto this old shirt that was either going to be goodwilled or thrown away because I really like the fabric and the color, just don't like the shirt anymore. So just plain old acrylic paint. This isn't going to go through the laundry for what I'm doing with this, so it doesn't matter if I'm using fabric paint. Well, what am I making here? I'm making, in the end, it will be a Christmas ornament that fits my family so perfectly. But along the way, I thought I was making a bag. I thought I was making, well, anyway, this has gone through a few little adventures. There's been an oops or two along the way, and yes, I'm leaving them all in the video. So they've let these dry, and now I am going to cut them out, cut them apart. I am not a seamstress, but I am actually going to attempt to pull out the good old sewing machine for this. So that's going to lead to some of the fun. I do want to cut out the neck of this top one, and I'm going to cut into it a little bit so it kind of looks like the dress is open. I want to add that dimension to it. I figure that line's there. It's going to be perfect. So put these on top of each other. It's going to be great. Well, it's way too thin a fabric, so I had to do something to strengthen it up. So I turned to jelly prints. Using tacky glue, I am going to stick these two pieces of paper together so that way I only have pretty sides showing, because I'm making kind of a bag or a purse, or so I thought, and I wanted to make sure that it looked pretty from all different directions. Well, of course, if you've ever sewn much, you know that putting this many things together, it's all going to wiggle and move around. So I had to pull out the stick pins, and stick pins are called that because you stick yourself with the pin. Yes, I did do that, but that one was off camera. But now what I'm going to do, here comes the future oops, I am going to put the ribbon on this that will make it this wonderful long purse thing. So like, you know, a little kid could use it just as a fun little Christmas gift, the idea that I had in mind to give to like a little niece for Christmas. They'd have this cute little bag to carry around. And with pride now, I think I have this all set, and I head over to the sewing machine for a little free motion stitching around this. So it's all cut out now, and now came the problem of I couldn't use my good fabric scissors that I thought I'd use to trim really neatly around this, because I also have paper in there, and I know those will ruin the scissors. So yeah, oops, that didn't go as planned. But all is good. I'm cutting around this thing. It's making a lot of sense to me. It's sturdy, and then I get to the ribbon area. So yeah, not really as easy to cut around that part with the ribbon, but I'm going to be really careful. I know what the problem is here, and I don't want to cut the ribbon. So I am going to be very, very careful as I'm doing this, keeping that ribbon right out of the way as I am cutting this. That way, see if we can bring in the fine scissors to come around the top of that. It's all going extremely well. And yes, do you see it? Oops! Somewhere along the way, I cut the ribbon in the middle. How on earth did I do that? Oh well. It's an oops, and it'll take me somewhere new. So what I'm going to do now is put that line back in on the back of the dress, the collar in the back. I'm going to put it in there just with a pen, and that way it'll tell me about where to trim things up to get the look of the stencil. And it still doesn't look bright dark enough, so I'm just going to bring in a little touch of acrylic paint. Yeah, and I should have let it dry, but didn't. Well, I realize the neck is a little tight on this dress as an opening for a purse, so I snip a few strings away and think that should do it. It'll fit something like a gift card. It'll be great in there, no problem. And yeah, I can get in a little bit, but not all the way, so oops. So now I'm making an ornament, but where I cut those threads to widen up the top, that's now just going to completely come undone and fall apart because I've gone around and cut threads. So I'm going to use the tulip fabric paint over the threads to help sort of bond them in a little bit more, and it just adds a nice little fun layer to it. Little glitter glue, had to get some sparkle on this thing, and it was just supposed to be the little buttons, but I couldn't help it. Once you start pulling out the glitter, I just got to start putting it in other places. Really having fun with this. This is great. And just so you know, it takes a while for things to dry, like tulip fabric paint and glitter glue. Apparently, I didn't understand this concept. So while I'm trying to figure out how I want to tie this at the top, because it's going to be an ornament, and I'm being very careful not to put my fingers in the wet stuff. Yeah, we'll see that again. So here it is with the sparkle. I'm loving it. So I totally get the idea that I should put a head on this dress, and that'll make it sort of this crazy ornament that fits within my family. So I found this baby photo, and I'm cutting out the head, just an inkjet printer, or printout. And keep in mind, the glue and the fabric paint haven't dried yet, so I'm being really careful not to put my fingers in it. So I'm kind of liking how that goes. So now what I've got to do is figure out how to strengthen the baby's head without actually having to print another one on cardstock, because that would be too hard. So what I'm going to do is stick her on to cardstock, but I'm completely out of glue sticks, and I really want a glue stick for this. So I'm going to pull out my giant ATG gun, and I'm going to make a sheet of sticky adhesive there because it's what I had within arm's reach. And it's a good thing I didn't have a glue stick, because as I'm cutting the head out, I realize I need some way to attach it to the dress. So I'm going to leave a little spike or stick of sticky cardstock there, and then I can put that in, and that's how it's going to stick and stay. Well, this is great, but I don't want that part to show, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller of a stick, and I really would like the chin to come up a little bit and tuck under it so you can't see my little paper spike. So I'm going to hope and pray I can peel just enough up to stick it and kind of give it a lip over there so it looks like I planned this. Yeah, I planned this. And yes, now I need to go back and fix all the places where I stuck my finger in the glitter and smudged it and smeared it. Didn't we all see that one coming when I did it? While making this, I have to say it did not go as planned. There were plenty of oops all around on this one. But in the end, I'm really happy with where it ended up. And now I'm off to make these crazy ornaments using different family members' pictures for everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd share it. Thanks for your support.